Hello everyone and welcome back to another Rise of Kingdoms video. This is Dragothien here, and today we're going to be talking about continuing our Commander Pairing Ranker series with Saladin. Saladin's going to be the Cav commander we're going to start this matchup with here. We're going to go ahead and get the ball rolling with him. Again, this is a sponsored content creation channel for Rise of Kingdoms. Make sure you hit the sub button, the like button, the bell notification, getting these good juicy contents every single day as they come out. So, we're going to go ahead and start ranking all the commanders on how they pair with Saladin. Saladin is a very good commander. He's one of the best Cav commanders in the game, especially when it comes to just open field and in general, you know, everything, right? He does conquering very well. He does rallies very well. He does garrisons, oddly enough, very well. But he's really made for open field and conquering. So we're going to go ahead and keep that in mind as we go through. And we're going to start off with infantry first, like we did last time with Charles. And we're going to go ahead and kick it off with Richard. So Richard, first and foremost, is really good with anybody. However, again, I don't necessarily think he's going to pair exceptionally well with Saladin, but I will put him in the middle tier. I think Richard does a fairly good job being a second or a primary to pretty much anybody. So that's why I usually recommend Richard being one of the first 3 to 5 legendary commanders that you max if you have the means to do so. Same thing with Charles. I think he's going to be in the same boat. You see him pop up behind me there. He has a shield, which is always good. Tankiness. Saladin is a tanky commander in general. And again, you can have his shield possibly proc on his primary skill, depending on how quickly your rage regenerates and what kind of talent build you use with Saladin. Again, you can use Saladin as a second to Charles and second to Richard, and it works very well, just like we did on the previous video with Charles. He works really well together, but not great, not top tier. So they're usable, but not top tier. Let's go ahead and go to Alex. I think Alex is probably also in the middle tier, although this is probably starting to get borderline into the bottom category. He's got a lot of the same benefits that Charles has, but he doesn't have the damage boost from Charles's skill. But he does have a secondary nuke. And he does also have, again, a shield, which is nice to have with Saladin, because Saladin does do some tankiness with Cavs, which is welcome because most often Cavs are meant to be like damage-dealing Cavs, whereas Saladin brings a little bit of tankiness into the mix. That's good. Next is Guan. I'm going to put Guan in the bottom tier category just simply because there really isn't much synergy here. I don't see any type other than it having a nuke, which is okay, but I mean, it's just there's nothing jumping out at me from Guan that really kind of enhances Saladin. And again, I could probably even maybe make Alex a bottom tier because of that. Nothing special per se, but just in general feeling, Alex is a good universal commander as well. Alex Saladin or Saladin Alex would work. Just use the appropriate troops, whereas Guan, not so much. I'm not really seeing a great synergy there. Constantine, same thing. I'm going to put him in the bottom tier category just simply because no huge synergy here. He's got a big heal, which is nice, which is tanky, but a lot of his stuff is really geared towards infantry. His health bonus is infantry only. You're not going to be using infantry unless you have Constantine primary, and again, having Saladin second to Constantine isn't exactly a great pair, which would be in the bottom tier for me anyway, so I'm going to go with that. Same thing with Leonidas. We're going to put him in the bottom tier category here, just simply because, again, no synergy whatsoever. There's no shield that's going to generate to proc some of the bonuses that Leonidas has, or the attack debuff. I don't think Saladin has an attack debuff, although I may be wrong. But either way, I don't see them being a great pairing at all. It just doesn't seem like it matches up very well at all. Sun Tzu. You know what? Sun Tzu I'm going to put in the middle tier category. Just simply because, again, he is a great universal commander and really can be primary or secondary with Saladin. Again, adjust the troops accordingly, whoever's primary. Not a great pairing, but it would work. It would do some things. It's just not great. And again, Sun Tzu's fourth skill would enhance Saladin's primary skill damage, which is nice. And his third skill, being a universal damage reduction, would also benefit a full Cav March of Saladin. So that would work out okay. Not great. Okay, not great. Which is why he's in the middle tier. LG Mundiak, again, bottom tier. No real synergy here whatsoever. It's just so weird seeing LG with that portrait instead of the original. But I like it. But anyway, yeah, it's bottom tier. Bottom tier, not going to work out very well. Now we're going to get into the Cavs. And this is where we're going to start seeing some top tier connections here. First off is going to be Takeda. I think we all know that this is going to be a top tier pairing. In fact, this is probably his best pairing. I would say that Saladin Takeda is one of the best pairings from a Cav perspective in the game. They do just as much nuke damage as, say, like Mina. I don't know about just as much, but they do a lot of damage. But I would say that they are just as resilient as an Attila Takeda from a normal attack standpoint because of Takeda's fiercest fire. But because of Saladin's tankiness to both skill damage and then Takeda's tankiness to normal damage, it's a good pairing. And plus Takeda has a heal on top of the tankiness that Saladin provides and the healing reduction. It all meshes together to be one of the best pairings in the game. As soon as I saw Takeda come out, that was my pairing. I saw it right away. That was one of my first thoughts when Takeda came out. It wasn't Attila Takeda, unfortunately. It was Saladin Takeda. Saladin Takeda was my pairing. Speaking of Attila, I'm going to go ahead and put Attila in the middle tier. Now, I would put him ahead of some of the infantry commanders that I've got here in the middle tier. But the middle tier is going to be fairly broad because it's a tier that you can use them. This is a tier where you can use them if you want to, if you've got them. But there are better, and better is the top tier, and then there's also worse, and that's the bottom tier. So the middle tier is going to be a little bit more all-inclusive. Putting Attila in the same category as, say, Alex in this situation doesn't really seem right off the bat, but they're all about the same. Like, they're not top flight because Attila has skill damage reduction, which is what Saladin banks on from a damage perspective, and he's got enough tankiness to really kind of not need Attila. In that sense. So I think that Attila doesn't really give Saladin anything extra, whereas Takeda really does. Minamoto. I'm going to actually put him in a top tier category. And the reason I say that, so it's not necessarily that they've got great synergy, but they do pump out damage quite well together. So, I mean, obviously Minamoto is one of the best Cav nuking commanders in the game next to Genghis and Saladin. From a nuking perspective, because he's got that expertise and he's easy to get too. So you can really use Saladin Minamoto or Minamoto Saladin. I would prefer Saladin actually primary in this case because of his tankiness and the support talent tree and things like that. But Mina pumps out a ton of damage. He also has a bunch of buffs to Cavs and can be used early game for some peacekeeping if you want to. But really from an open field perspective, this is not bad. I think that the combination, the damage that you're pumping out is a good combination between Saladin and Minamoto. Not great, but not middle tier either, in my opinion. I would rather see him in the top tier than the middle tier. Genghis. Genghis is definitely a top tier commander pairing for Saladin. You can go either way. I'm constantly asked this question, which one should I have primary? The answer to that question is, and I quote, Genghis Khan primary if you want more damage, Saladin primary if you want more tankiness. Even though Saladin has the Rejuvenate skill from Support Tree, which is a very, very powerful rage generation talent, Genghis just pumps out more damage with the skill talent path, and there's a lot more damage bonuses to the skill talent path versus the support talent path. The support talent path does give you more rage generation, however, it's not quite as quick because you've got Genghis having a lower rage requirement on his primary skill, and then on top of that, there's a lot more tankiness type things, skill reduction, attack. There's attack bonus whenever you're healed, which you won't be healed in this situation, but like that's why another reason why Takeda is probably the best pairing with Saladin. But Genghis primary for damage, Saladin primary for tankiness is the general rule of thumb. Double C. I will also put him as a top tier pairing. Again, the maximum amount of damage, right? Double C does a tremendous amount of damage, especially if you've got his first and his third skill maxed. Also, again, you would have the ability to have the talent in the support talent tree for Saladin proc when Double C heals. And Double C does heal, and he does put out a ton of damage. And he does have a lot of bonuses to attack damage for Cav, which is always going to benefit a tanky cav commander like Saladin. Now, again, you want to have Saladin primary in this situation. There is no reason why you should be having double C secondary in this situation unless you just want to get somewhere fast, in which case there are better pairings for that. Pelagius. I'm going to put him in the middle tier. He's a good pairing. He's a very good pairing. And in fact, I'm going to put him in the top tier. I take that back. The reason I say that, because of the fact that he's got the heal. The heal is what's maybe putting him towards the top tier for me, because he triggers the talent in the support tree that gives you additional attack when you're healed. And he has a heal over time, so it's even better. He's probably not going to do as much damage, again, as any of the other 4 commanders that are currently in the top tier. So from a damage perspective, not necessarily going to be top flight. But he's basically a mini version with a little bit of a nuke of Takeda. So, I mean, I would actually say that, I would actually say that Pelagius would be a top tier pair, especially as you're working your way up towards these guys. Pelagius would work just fine. Adds a little more tankiness with the heal, adds a little more damage because of the heal and the talent combining. The synergy's there. The synergy is there for a top tier pairing. Belisarius. I almost always want to put Belisarius by default into bottom tier, just because I dislike him so much. I will, however, put him in the middle tier, and the reason I do it is because, again, with Saladin, you have the ability to really kind of just mess with somebody. Saladin has a lot of crowd control by himself, but then also on top of that, if you add Belisarius's debuffs as well, it's not bad. You can also use him to kind of get in and out of a fight really well with his third skill, and his fourth skill adds extra damage with the last 25% of health. So not bad. I'm going to put him in middle tier. Not great, not bad. Okay. Baybars. Baybars I'm also going to do in the middle tier here. You can use him in rallies as well because of his third skill. Very similar to Baybars as far as his movement speed benefits when disengaging from battle or de-engaging from battle. You can get some speed boosts with his skill. And he does have a lot of AoE skill damage from his first skill, and then some damage bonuses for Cav with his second skill. So it works really well as a good pairing. But again, the synergy isn't there. There's not just the fact that he's a Cav commander, but Cav commander and synergy is what really kind of gets you into the top tier here. Or just overly being a uber Cav commander, which in my opinion is where Genghis kind of comes into play. So that's all the Cav. Let's go to YSG. Now, a lot of people have been asking me this question: is Saladin YSG good? I'm going to put him in the top tier because really YSG warrants it. But it's not because they've got such a great synergy or anything. It's just because YSG is that freaking good, guys. He's got an amazing AoE that no other commander has. Even the Theodora with her new circular AoE, it's not as big as YSG's AoE, and bigger is always better in this case. So you got that, then you got the rage regeneration from the second skill. You don't get the attack bonus from the archer portion on the second skill, but you get the rage regeneration portion. Then you also get if you are doing some kind of a garrison situation, you do get some kind of garrison bonuses there, although I'm not sure if they apply only to archers. I don't think they do. Just not looking at it offhand. I think they're generic bonuses. And then the fourth skill, again, a 50% skill damage bonus. That applies to Saladin. That's a synergy in my opinion. And again, the amount of damage that YSG pumps out, it does work. Not the best. I think Takeda and Genghis are kind of in that best category. But YSG is just as good as Minamoto, I think, or Double C, or in my opinion, better than Pelagius too. I mean, definitely, YSG will definitely work. And again, it's not so much to do with the fact that YSG Saladin or Saladin YSG is so great. It's that YSG is really that good that he can be with anybody and really be a top tier pairing. Tamiris. Yeah, I got to go with the bottom tier on this one. It just doesn't make sense. There's no real synergy whatsoever. It just doesn't have anything for me there. The debuff is nice. The skill damage debuff is nice. But you're pumping out, you're mowing through your skills really quickly. With Saladin being primary and really having Saladin secondary to Tamiris with full archers just does not make sense to me at all. Edward, same thing, bottom tier for the same reasons. Edward primary is really the only way you want to use Edward for the most part. He can be used secondary to some effect, but it's not top tier pairings in my opinion. And then again, Edward primary is just, you're not firing off your skills fast enough, and Saladin is made to be firing off his skills very, very quickly. El Cid, same thing. I'm going to put him in the bottom tier category. Archers really need to be YSG or nothing when it comes to pairings with non-archer commanders, for the most part. I mean, especially after Season 2 of KVK, you really won't see many archer combinations that don't require other archers. Whereas with, say some of the infantry commanders, you can kind of get away with it with El Cid, Charles, that kind of thing. Although, again, not top tier, it's a middle-ish tier kind of thing. But YSG is always top tier, so he's not even an archer commander in my opinion. He's his own class. Which is why he's probably going to be lining the top tier talent list of this series quite often throughout. Ramesses. You know what? I haven't played with this pairing, but now that I think about it, I'm going to put him in the middle tier, and not because that I suggest you guys do this just yet, but Ramesses is made to take out Richard, and when Saladin came out, that was the first anti-Richard, was Saladin. I wonder if we could pair these two up and make some kind of thing work, whether it's full archers with Ramesses primary or Saladin primary with full calves. I would think that full calves would be the way to go. However, Ramesses has a lot of archer buffs, so the problem is he doesn't have the support talent tree, and he's got the attack talent tree. So I think there's something to be done there, which is why I'm putting him in the middle tier. I think, honestly, he should be in the bottom tier as it sits now, because I haven't seen anybody try this pairing. But Ramesses is basically the new anti-Richard as well, with his anti-healing capability. I wonder if Saladin and Ramesses may be a full lockdown anti-heal pairing. Might not be doing a whole lot of damage, but you could basically lock down a Richard and make him go cry home to mama, and you'd be in pretty good shape. Don't judge me on this one. Don't judge me on the Ramesses in the middle tier. He should be in bottom, but I'm going to put him there just because I do want to test him out. Artemisia. Yeah, I'm going to go with the bottom tier, just because, again, she needs to be paired up with another archer or a tanky commander of some kind. I just don't see the synergy there at all. The synergy is what's making me make Ramesses in the middle tier versus the bottom tier. There's absolutely no synergy, in my opinion, between Artemisia and Saladin. So I'm going to put her on the bottom tier. Kira. It could work. It could work, right? She's got a decent nuke. Peacekeeping skill. But then there's a ton of skill damage bonuses. And Saladin does have a decent skill damage for his active skill. And he fires them off fairly quickly because he's got the support talent tree. The fact that I'm thinking about it is kind of making me lean towards putting her in the middle tier, even though she's an archer commander. I still think there's some synergy there with the skill damage improvements and the fact that she does have a decent primary nuke. It's not bad. I would say she's just as equal as, say, Sun Tzu, right? Because Sun Tzu has a decent nuke and skill damage enhancements, right? I think that's fair, right? Get there with me. I know you guys are trying. Kusunoki. No enhancements to skill damage. Does have a decent nuke. Does have a remove control effect. Remove debuff effect. So, not bad, but that doesn't necessarily put him in the middle tier, in my opinion. I barely use him with normal archer commanders together, so I would say Kusunoki does have a value, but it's not in this situation. Saladin is not made to go with Kusunoki. I'm going to go ahead and pass on that and put him in bottom tier. Herman, same thing. Decent nuke. Some decent crowd control with the silence. Disable. Silence. Yep. But again, no real synergy from a Cav perspective, and other than having a nuke, and if that's the case, I can basically put almost all of these bottom commanders in the middle tier, just because they have a nuke. Then that can't be my criteria. So I'm gonna put him in the bottom. Wu. I'm going to put her in the middle tier because, again, she can be paired with Saladin in Garrison, Wu primary, Saladin secondary, and be really, really well off. Also, Saladin primary, Wu secondary would work with full cav, but Wu primary, Saladin secondary is one of the best anti-skill damage garrisons in the game. So I would definitely have her in the middle tier. In fact, if you're going to use Wu, it's going to be with that scenario, and it's, like I said, one of the best in the game. So I'm going to put her in a top tier, but again, remember, this is Garrison only. Open field can be done, but I'd put her in between bottom and middle tier at that point because she's not made for open field. She's made for garrisoning. Same thing for Theodora. I think there's some synergy there, but I think that it's going to be more for the middle tier. I haven't been able to test her out with Saladin just yet, but I feel like these two are really close together. Theodora and Wu are pretty close together. I think with more testing, Theodora might be able to jump up to the top tier from a garrison perspective with Saladin. But as of right now, I just haven't tested it yet. But I think that there should be some value there. Same reason I've got Ramses here is because I think there's some value there. We just haven't tested it yet. But from a garrison perspective only, again, she's not meant to be open field. There's no open field value there whatsoever. YSS. Synergies. I'm looking for them. There's a good skill damage bonus. You got to be off territory to get some of the extra bonuses, which you don't tend to be. Until I see YSS actually performing well in the open field, I got to put him in bottom tier. I think there's some things that he goes with that makes a lot of sense. Saladin doesn't ring my bell as one of them, but he has the possibility of being a good secondary commander in the open field, but it's got to be the right circumstance. It's got to be off territory to get some of those extra bonuses for the shield and things like that. And then again, the nuke is good, very good, but that can't be my only criteria for pairing. So, and he's a leadership commander with no troop capacity bonus either, so something to think about. All right, Mehmed. I think Mehmed is a good pairing, but he's going to go in the middle tier. Just simply Now, I take this back. I'm going to slide him up to top tier, and the only reason is because of the extra little thing I thought about. City rallies. So, Saladin, Mehmed, city rally, you won't get any resources, okay? So, if you want the resources that you're rallying, don't do this. But Saladin primary with Mehmed secondary is a very good pairing for a city rally from a damage perspective. You get ultra tankiness with Saladin being primary, and you get an absolute F-ton of skill damage from Mehmed in combination with Saladin having the rejuvenate skill from the support tree, really firing off skills nonstop. So I think that's a really good pairing. It's just you won't get any resources, so something to keep in mind. But the synergy is really good, and then open field as well. Synergy is great. Both have nuke. You get a troop capacity bonus on the fourth skill from Mehmed, and you get the skill damage bonus on the second skill from Mehmed, open field as well. Those are three really good synergies that work really well together. And then you add in the city rally component of it. I think that makes them top tier. There's too many good things going on there. Julius Caesar. I'm going to put him as a middle tier, and the only reason I'm doing that, because all the other leadership commanders that I can see right offhand, with the exception of 2, are going to be bottom tier, but spoiler alert. But Julius Caesar, the reason he works really well, one, again, the troop capacity bonus is a plus, but then his skill improves the damage of a skill damage pairing. Now, you can have Julius Caesar second, and especially with how fast Saladin regenerates rage, you can get that skill off in time for his skill damage bonus from his shield to proc. So it will work just fine. You'll get that extra damage bonus from Julius on your next go around of your skill because of how fast the rage regenerates for Saladin because of the talent trees that you use with him. So he's going to go in the middle tier. He's going to be pumping up a lot of damage. Julius always adds some more tankiness to an already tanky Saladin. That's not a bad pairing. I haven't used it very often, if ever, in the open field, but I have used Genghis double C. I've used, Genghis Caesar. I've also used, from a Cav perspective, I've actually used Attila Caesar. not that good, but still, it's usable. Caesar's still usable in the end game, guys. It's just not, if you've got some of these other commanders, not so much. So that's kind of where it is. He's a good commander, but he's not as good as what's out there right now. But I would definitely put him in the middle tier. It will work, and it will bring tankiness to Saladin's army. Barca's going to go in the bottom tier, no question about it. I just don't see the benefit or the synergy there at all. I'm going to start running out of space here on the on this thing. I might want to actually make my video a little smaller. Let me unlock it first. Here we go. All right, I'm a little smaller, guys. Sorry about that. And relock it. All right. Barca's down there. Charlemagne also down there. I don't see the synergy there. Freddy I'm going to put in the top tier as a second only. Okay. Again, the troop capacity bonus, the heal, and the fact that he has one of the best nukes in the game make him worthwhile. From an epic standpoint, I am going to put Osman as a top tier pairing, and again, that's just because he's one of the best secondary epic nukers in the game. He can work with any nuking commander primary and be just fine. Scipio. He does provide tankiness, and he does provide troop capacity bonus. So does Barca. Scipio's got to go on the bottom. I'm sorry. He just doesn't have the skill damage boost that Caesar has. So Scipio's got to go in the bottom. He could be in the middle tier if you wanted to. If you don't have a Caesar but you want some more tankiness, that's not a bad pairing with Scipio, but he's still bottom tier in my opinion. Ethelfled. I think she's a middle tier pairing. It's a good debuff. There's some decent synergy there with slowing people down so you can catch them. And again, the bonuses are decent enough to pair up with Saladin to where they kind of work together. And again, having Ethelfled out there without her being primary is a good thing because people don't know that she's out there. And if you can hide her behind a Saladin, which most people don't target primarily, not bad. Not bad at all. Lohar, I'm going to go with a big negatory buddy. The pattern is full. Right there. I'm definitely going to be covering some things here. Boudica. Again, Boudica I think could be a middle tier here, just simply because her bonuses, her damage bonuses as well as her nuke is not bad. Again, towards the bottom I think though on the middle tier, the middle tier prospecting here, but still pretty good. Joan of Arc, That's a bad. I'm definitely running out. Definitely running out of space here. Joan of Arc, I've definitely got in the bad category. He's right behind me. right behind me right here. Running out of space here. Ashida, Cleopatra, and Sundiak, all bad categories as well. Let me go ahead and... Cleopatra. And then Ashida. There we go. All right, so we've got some good setups here. A lot of bad here, but the goods are really good, and the middle tiers are pretty good too. A couple questionable ones here in the middle. I think Ramses in the middle is a little bit iffy. Even Attila, I think there's really not a whole lot of synergy there, but Attila is so good that, again, he can be paired with it. I just don't think there's going to be a really good synergy there. And then Boudica, again, she's just kind of okay. She's one of those universal epic commanders that can be used as a second to any nuker and be just fine, because she has the damage bonuses, the heal, and also the decent nuke in the front as well with the rage stuff going on. So very good. You're going to be firing off skills like crazy. So actually I feel a little more confident now that I've kind of talked through that with myself for Boudica being in the middle tier. She has a lot of things going for her that would work really well with Saladin. So other than that, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I'm going to go ahead and post this also on my Discord in the new Commander Pairing Ranker section. The first one is already up if you want to go check it out. I'm going to go ahead and get this one nice and polished up and post it there as well. Other than that, this is my pairing selection. I hope you guys agree, disagree, whatever you have, post it in the comment section below. It seems like you all absolutely love the Charles version of this, and I'll be doing this for every commander going forward for the next month, basically. So I hope you guys are enjoying this, because this is what's coming your way for quite some time. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers. Have a good one. Take care.